In the dazzling world of Hollywood, nothing grabs headlines quite like a secret wedding. While the cameras flash and the gossip mills churn, some stars choose a different path, one far from the spotlight. Over the years, countless celebrities, from fresh-faced newcomers to legendary icons, have quietly said, "I do," behind closed doors. No red carpets. No paparazzi. Just love in its purest form. And when the news finally surfaced, fans were left speechless. In today's video, we're rewinding the clock to uncover the most unexpected celebrity weddings that flew under the radar, and revealing where these couples are now in 2025. You won't believe who kept their vows hidden all this time. Ben Stiller and Christine Taylor didn't meet at a glitzy Hollywood party. Their story began in 1999 while working on a television pilot that never aired. Though the show faded into obscurity, their connection turned into something lasting. Just a year later, on May 13th of 2000, they married in a quiet ceremony in Hawaii, far from flashing cameras or headlines. Even longtime fans were surprised by how private it all was. Throughout the years, they became one of Hollywood's most beloved comedic couples. They starred together in hits like Zoolander Dodgeball, A True Underdog Story, and Tropic Thunder, winning over audiences with their genuine chemistry. Behind the scenes, they built a family raising 2 children, daughter Ella Olivia and son Quinland Dempsey. Despite the fast-paced entertainment world, their marriage seemed grounded and enduring. So when they announced their separation in May 2017 after 17 years together, many fans were shocked. But unlike many public splits, theirs was free from drama. Both emphasized mutual respect and a shared commitment to their children. Then came the COVID-19 pandemic. Like many families, they found themselves under the same roof again. In that unexpected time together, something changed. In a 2022 Esquire interview, Ben shared that they had rekindled their relationship. "We were separated and got back together," he said, "and we're happy about that." Their journey filled with love, change, and reconciliation feels familiar to many older Americans who've lived through their own seasons of hardship and healing. It's a gentle reminder that relationships can evolve, and sometimes the strongest connections are rediscovered when life slows down. Ben and Christine's story is proof that even after years apart, love can still come home. Elizabeth Moss and Fred Armison. A Hollywood romance that burned too fast. When Mad Men star Elizabeth Moss met Saturday Night Live comedian Fred Armison backstage in October 2008, the connection was instant. It was during Jon Hamm's SNL hosting gig, and Moss was simply there to support her co-star. But sparks flew quickly. So quickly, in fact, that just 3 months later, the pair were engaged. Their whirlwind romance stunned even Hollywood insiders. On October 25, 2009, they exchanged vows in an intimate, under-the-radar ceremony. No paparazzi, no press, just 2 rising stars hoping to shield their love from the spotlight. For many fans, news of their marriage didn't surface until long after the fact. But just as suddenly as it began, the relationship fell apart. By June 2010, barely 8 months after the wedding, Moss filed for divorce. Years later, she opened up to Page 6, calling the experience extremely traumatic and awful, revealing the deep pain that lurked behind the polished red carpet smiles. Armison, in a raw confession on Howard Stern's show, admitted he had been a terrible husband, struggling with commitment and emotional intimacy. Their brief and turbulent marriage was a sobering reminder that fame can amplify the fragility of relationships. Behind every glamorous photo and charming interview, there are real people wrestling with vulnerability, heartbreak, and the messy parts of love, truths many baby boomers might recognize from their own lives. Still, both emerged stronger. Moss went on to win Emmy and Golden Globe awards for her powerhouse performances in The Handmaid's Tale, while Armison found his rhythm in quirky, offbeat comedy with shows like Portlandia. Though their love story didn't end in happily ever after, it left behind a powerful lesson in emotional honesty, personal growth, and the courage to walk away when love no longer feels safe. Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hilary Burton, a love story written off the grid. In a world where celebrity romances burn fast and fade faster, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hilary Burton chose a different path, one rooted in quiet devotion and genuine connection. Best known for his brooding role on The Walking Dead and her iconic part on One Tree Hill, the couple stunned fans when they revealed they'd secretly said, "I do," on October 5, 2019. After more than a decade together, many assumed they were already married. But as Hillary later shared in a heartfelt Instagram post, their wedding wasn't for the cameras, it was deeply personal, beautifully real, and worth keeping private until it felt right. Their journey began in 2009, thanks to a match made by friends Jensen Ackles and Danielle Harris. From the first meeting, the chemistry was undeniable. Over the years, they built a life not of red carpets and paparazzi, but of meaningful moments, welcoming their son Gus in 2010 and daughter George in 2018. When it came time to wed, they chose authenticity over extravagance. The ceremony took place at their cozy home in Rhinebeck, New York, surrounded by loved ones like Supernatural stars Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki, and Walking Dead co-star Norman Reedus. No flashing lights. No magazine covers. Just vows spoken from the heart. What makes their love story so resonant, especially for those who still believe in lasting commitment, is how grounded it feels. The couple lives on a working farm in upstate New York, raising their children far from the chaos of Hollywood. In interviews and candid posts, they speak of gratitude, privacy, and the quiet strength that comes from choosing each other every day. For anyone tired of fairy tales scripted for the spotlight, Jeffrey and Hillary offer something refreshingly rare, a real-life love story built not on hype, but on heart. A story that whispers instead of shouts, and stays with you long after the credits roll. Felicity Huffman and William H. Macy have never needed tabloid drama or red carpet spectacle to prove their love. Instead, they've quietly built one of Hollywood's most enduring marriages, defined not by flash, but by fierce loyalty and unwavering support. Their journey began in the early 1980s at the Atlantic Theater Company in New York, where Macy was a co-founder and Huffman an eager young actress. For years, their relationship drifted in and out like the rhythm of the stage, as each chased their dreams and built their craft. But through it all, something steady endured between them, a connection that never quite broke. They weren't the kind of couple chasing headlines. In fact, they spent 15 years dating, keeping their love story mostly behind the scenes. When they finally married on September 6, 1997, it was in a modest, intimate ceremony far from the Hollywood spotlight. At the time, Huffman was still waiting on her breakout moment, and Macy was a respected face in indie film circles, not yet a household name. But none of that mattered. They weren't in it for attention. They were in it for each other. Over the years, success found them both. Macy became a critical darling with roles in Fargo and Shameless, while Huffman captured hearts and awards with Desperate Housewives and Transamerica. But despite the fame, they raised their two daughters, Sophia Grace and Georgia Grace, away from the glare of the cameras, fiercely protective of their family's privacy. Then came 2019, the college admissions scandal that rocked the country. Huffman's name was suddenly splashed across every headline. She admitted her mistake, pleaded guilty, and served 11 days in federal prison. It was a moment that could have broken them. But Macy never wavered. Though never charged himself, he stood by her side in court, in public, and most importantly, at home. His quiet strength through the storm was a masterclass in real partnership, the kind that doesn't run when things get hard. For many older Americans who know that life's hardest battles often come long after the wedding vows, Felicity and William's story is more than just a celebrity love tale. It's a portrait of resilience, forgiveness, and the kind of love that endures, not in spite of the struggle, but because of it. Christy, Brinkley, and Billy Joel. A love story straight out of the 80s spotlight. In a decade defined by big dreams and even bigger personalities, few celebrity couples shined brighter than Christy Brinkley and Billy Joel. She was the golden girl of the runway, the iconic supermodel whose face lit up the covers of Sports Illustrated and every major fashion magazine. He was the piano-playing poet of the people, churning out timeless hits like Piano Man and Just the Way You Are. Their paths crossed in 1983 while vacationing in the Caribbean, and from the moment they met, the chemistry was undeniable. Despite their fame, they kept their romance relatively low-key. Then, on March 23, 1985, the two exchanged vows in a dreamy yacht wedding on New York Harbor. It was intimate yet elegant. No media circus, just a small gathering of close friends and family. Among the select guests were Paul Simon and actress Catherine Deneuve. It was love without the spotlight, for one rare moment. Joel didn't just love Christy, he immortalized her. His chart-topping anthem Uptown Girl was widely believed to be inspired by her radiant beauty and class. And in 1985, he released This Is the Time, a heartfelt reflection on love's fleeting magic. Just as the couple welcomed their daughter, Alexa Ray Joel, named after Joel's musical idol, Ray Charles. To the outside world, they were a picture-perfect pair. But behind the glamour, real-life pressures crept in, conflicting schedules, relentless media attention, and the weight of being in the public eye. After nearly a decade, the strain proved too much. They separated in 1994, closing a chapter that once seemed destined for forever. Yet, unlike many celebrity breakups, theirs wasn't a bitter ending. Brinkley and Joel chose kindness over conflict, co-parenting Alexa with grace and mutual respect. Over the years, they've occasionally reunited to support their daughter's music career, reminding fans that even love that doesn't last can still leave behind something beautiful. Their story isn't just a snapshot of 80s glam, it's a timeless tale of love, music, and the quiet dignity of letting go with love still in your heart. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. weren't Hollywood's flashiest couple, but that's exactly what made them unforgettable. Their story began quietly in 1997 on the set of the teen horror classic I Know What You Did Last Summer. Back then, they were just friends, no romance, no headlines. But fate had other plans. In 2000, a casual dinner with a mutual friend unexpectedly turned into something more. What was supposed to be a group hangout became a spontaneous first date. And from that night on, something shifted. Their connection deepened, and love quietly took root, far from the paparazzi's lens. 2 years later, Freddy popped the question, and on September 1, 2002, they tied the knot in an intimate ceremony in Mexico. No cameras. No magazine deals. Just two people pledging forever in front of the ones who mattered most. At a time when celebrity weddings were media circuses, theirs was refreshingly sincere. Over the years, Sarah and Freddy built what many in Hollywood can only dream of, a strong, private, enduring marriage. They became parents to 2 children, a daughter in 2009 and a son in 2012, and have fiercely guarded their family life ever since. No tabloid drama. No oversharing. Just a quiet devotion to each other and their kids. They both chose to step away from the relentless Hollywood spotlight, prioritizing their home over headlines. Sarah returned to select roles in TV and voice acting, while Freddy branched into writing, including a heartfelt cookbook, and lent his voice to animated hits. They even joined forces on Star Wars Rebels, but have always made their relationship the real star. Their love story isn't one of viral moments or red carpet gossip. It's one of mutual respect, shared values, and the kind of partnership that quietly thrives in the background. As Sarah once said, "We are both incredibly private, and we've always made that a priority, protecting what's ours." In a world that often confuses noise for substance, Gellar and Prinze stand as a reminder that real love doesn't need an audience. It just needs 2 people who choose each other every single day. Sasha Baron Cohen and Isla Fischer may light up the screen with their wild characters and comedic brilliance, but behind the scenes, they've crafted one of Hollywood's most quietly powerful love stories. Their journey began in 2002 at a party in Sydney, Australia, not with flashing cameras or red carpets, but with shared laughter and a spark rooted in intellect and heart. From the very beginning, their connection wasn't about celebrity. It was about chemistry, a deep understanding, a shared sense of humor, and unwavering support. While Sasha skyrocketed to fame with unforgettable roles like Borat, and Isla won hearts in films like Wedding Crashers and Confessions of a Shopaholic, they kept their love life fiercely private. Sasha proposed in 2004, but it wasn't until March 15, 2010, that they finally said, "I do." The wait wasn't hesitation, it was respect. Isla chose to undergo a meaningful, years-long conversion to Judaism, a decision she's described as profoundly spiritual. Their wedding was the opposite of Hollywood glam, an intimate ceremony in Paris with just 6 guests. No press, no spectacle, just love. Since then, they've built a life grounded in family, raising 3 children while splitting their time between Los Angeles and Sydney. Unlike many celebrity couples, they've kept their kids completely out of the spotlight, choosing privacy, peace, and purpose over public display. And when they do speak of each other, it's nothing short of admiration. Isla praises Sasha's fearless creativity, while Sasha calls Isla the heart of his world. During his 2021 Golden Globe acceptance speech, he offered a rare, tender tribute, calling her the greatest woman in the world. That moment said it all. Now, more than 20 years since that fateful party, Sasha and Isla stand as a shining example of love that doesn't need headlines to be real. Theirs is a romance rooted in trust, built with intention, and strengthened in silence. Thanks for watching Exposed Hollywood. If you enjoyed this story of quiet devotion, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.